Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again for the OCRP iRacing series, the ARCA series. As you know from previous seasons, the Cup Series drivers are in the ARCA car, and we're going to crown ourselves a champion tonight. And we have Mr. Joe Cortez in the house with us tonight for the championship 150 at Homestead Miami Speedway. And I got to say, Joe, we've seen a lot this season, a lot of ups and downs from a lot of drivers, but right now, currently sitting on the pole, we've got Graham, or has he not made a run yet? But Carpenter in second there. But first of all, how you doing tonight? Welcome back, brother. And ready for some racing.
Absolutely ready for some racing. One more time for this season with the man who would be king at the top of the pole. Wes Graham comes in with a 26-point lead over Leonard Favignano. I don't see him on the timing screen right now, so that basically all but locks in the season championship. This will be what, its 8th championship out of 12 seasons, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I think you're absolutely right, and you know it's no surprise here that the 81 of Brandon Buggs is out here doing some nonsense, and looks like he might be actually wrecking the car on purpose. And he disappeared.
I think he's just trying to have a little bit of fun with that car while we can. Basically, tonight's race is going to be for fun. Tonight's race is going to be for exhibition, and hopefully tonight's race will be just all about putting on one great show one more time for all the fans who have been watching all season long. And, again, with everything that's going on this season, I think we're all ready just to have a little bit of a fun and maybe a little bit of insanity on the track. Who knows?
Well, you're not wrong about that, and we missed last week. I was in California doing a charity stream out there, and we ended up raising over $12,000 for the Orbis High Flying Hospital. Very cool to be a part of that for sure, and I learned a lot through flight simulation, real aviation, etc., etc. That is not what we want to talk about, but the actual missing of that race was at Nashville, and it really came down to them having to perform very well, and Wes Graham did. I didn't see who the winner was. That's how much of a crappy broadcaster. I should know who won. Do you know who won?
I'm going to look it up for you right now.
He doesn't even know. That's the thing. We don't even know. So there you go.
Well, I wasn't paying attention.
Well, I wasn't either. But I got back today, and I'm excited to do some iRacing here tonight and watch what is going to be an incredible race here. Not only, guys looking to get their first win of the season, like that 86 of Jason Lance right there starting third, but also we're going to be crowning a championship, which I'm pretty sure we already have clinched. I think it's going to take a lot for that to be knocked off the top there from what I have seen, but you never know.
Going back to last week, it was Wes Graham who started on the pole and ended up finishing on the pole, leading 164 laps. Robert Bearder had 14 led laps last week. Rounding out the top 5 at Nashville was Nick Sargent in second, Chavez Esri third, Kyle Cleveland in fourth, and Nick Gould rounding out that top 5. But going back to tonight's points, you're absolutely right, Jeff. As you look at the standings right now with Leonard Favignano, I don't believe on the track tonight. That's a 29-point gap between the two of them. Jason Lance, 57 points behind. So all Wes Graham has to do, actually he doesn't even have to turn on one lap. Well, all he has to do is show up.
You've heard me say it.
He didn't even have to do that. He didn't have to show up. He just could have.
Yeah, but you've heard me say it many times. I don't get it. I don't understand why Leonard Favignano is not going to show up to the final race of the season. Okay, you didn't win the championship, but who cares? Like, I really don't understand why you wouldn't show up to the championship race after racing this entire season just because you're not going to win the championship. That's very strange to me. Let's get the starting. It doesn't matter. Let's get the starting grid going through on the pole. Wes Graham. So that's why. And then we have Kyle Carpenter right there. Row 2, Nick Sargent, Jason Lance. How about row number 3?
Row number 3 belongs to the 60 of Ryan Potter, Jonathan Orndorff, the 20 on his outside. Row number 4 belongs to Zachary Guzman and Rick Evans.
All right, row number 5, Austin Johnson, Nick Gould. By the way, I'll get you that feed to you in just a minute. Row number 6, Clayton Cyrus, Robert Bearder. Row 7, Alex Reno. Round out everybody that qualified. There you go. The truck is going to be ducking off here in just a few moments. And I will absolutely get you everything you need. Green flag in the air. Let's crown ourselves a champion tonight at Homestead.
I mean, I wasn't going to complain, but, you know, I've announced playing before. It can happen. Wes the Mess gets out in front of everybody in the 77, not running that Smokey and the Bandit theme tonight. Instead, a tribute to the man who not only runs this league, but also paints most of the cars out here, Tony Wilson, in that beautiful 77 Tide-inspired, Darrell Waltrip-inspired car.
And I'll tell you what, I think we're going to see a lot out of that 77. Been so strong all season long. I know we have a champion right here, the 88 of Wes Graham. He can't screw it up right now, but Tony Wilson, a lot of guys behind him looking to get their first win. It's going to be a big deal for them to get a win any chance they can, and I think we might see that tonight, but don't count out Carpenter about a half second back.
Guys, don't forget, 10 seconds to get that hype train going. You get the hype train going for all the boys out here racing their hearts out, 150 laps in the heart of Florida, Homestead Miami Speedway. Wes the Mess, he is the king apparent. He is the man to beat. All he had to do was show up, and he has done that. Now it's just about pride. Now it's about being able to win this entire season in strong fashion. Kyle Carpenter right there in second behind him. Nick Sargent, the Dairy Queen Chevrolet, in third.
Interesting to watch right here so far. Wes Graham running the bottom of the track. Homestead's known for running the outside, and you may wonder, hey, you know, you have such a big track. Why you want to run the outside lane? It's called side force, and when you get up next to the wall, you're creating this side force on the car that gives you so much momentum and speed. It actually, if you get close enough to the wall, it's like a cushion of air that prevents you from hitting it, and you can run it really, really hard and get so much speed through the corner. And that's actually modeled in iRacing now in the last couple of years. It used to not be a thing. Guys would run the top because, you know, that was cool. They saw the real guys doing that on TV. But here tonight, we're going to see guys run the top because, well, you can do it.
You know, and this track is notoriously fast. It's a big, perfectly shaped oval. Same banking on each corner, same banking on each of the stretches, front and back, as we ride along with Kyle Carpenter. You see just how fast he's able to get this ARCA car going. Underpowered, sure, but still being able to top 180 around 180 at the very end of this 175, realistically, at the end of that stretch. That's pretty good for one of these ARCA cars.
That's actually a really good speed there, and we're seeing Kyle Carpenter using all the track right here. Now, 1 and 2, he's running the bottom, but we'll see what he does here in 3 and 4. I think he's going to elect to stay on the top. Nope, he's going to do exactly what Wes Graham's doing, and I think a lot of that is because, hey, Wes is running the bottom, and he's maintaining his speed on me. Maybe I need to change up my line. We're going to see guys all over the track here tonight.
All over the road, as a friend of mine would say. But you're absolutely right, and I think you can attribute that to the setup. Remember, all season long, these guys run the exact same setup. It's basically, for those of you who are old enough to remember the IROC series, basically the same thing. Everyone's got the same setup. Everyone's got the same car. The only 3 things that are different are paint schemes, brake bias, and steering ratio on these cars. So they can get them comfortable, but at the end of the day, they've got to figure out how to make this exact setup work for everybody out there. It's a 55. Finally, the season finally fixes the paint scheme.
Finally fixes the paint scheme. Good to see it right there. Joe Ogle battling the bottom of the 22 of Alex Reno. This is for the 12th position right now, but it's the only big race I see on the track right now. Everybody is single file as far as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 goes. And then 11th right there is Clayton Cyrus in the 05. He's under fire right now for the 55 of Ogle.
The 05, that Texaco Havoline Impala under fire by the 55 of Joe Ogle. Joe Ogle will have no problem getting around him. And now here comes the 14 of Nick Gould. The Canadian wants to also get around him as well, the Snap-on Chevrolet. As Reno gets a little sideways coming out of the turn. He's going to have to drop back, and that will cost him not a spot, but definitely a lot of time.
Yeah, we're going to ride on board here with Reno, and you'll see how he's getting around this track. He's seeing how loose some of these guys are getting here between 1 and 2, and everybody's figuring out, hey, you know, draft versus the line you're running. And Reno right now doing a good job of maintaining the car underneath him. We see the 14 drop to the bottom here, and you'll see how the 22, you kind of want to diamond these corners, but I think as the tire wear starts to fall off, Joe, we're going to see guys going more and more to that outside lane.
I think so. I think the outside lane is going to be much more into play. They're going to be able to run it a little bit faster out there. They'll be lighter on the tires. And most importantly, they'll be able to conserve what they have by running that higher line. Let's follow along with Brandon Buggs now, doing a little shenanigans on the track earlier, now currently running in position number 18. I don't think he's in a hurry to do anything with his car. I think he's just going to turn some laps to see what he can do with it.
Yeah, I was following him back here because he had a huge moment off the corner sideways almost. Got it back underneath him, and now he's going to maintain forward momentum running in the 18th position. So just goes to show how hard it is to actually keep this car underneath you.
Well, especially at a track like this, with a setup like this, and with the speeds they're achieving on this track. You know, this track reminds me very much of old Atlanta in the fact that it was fast, it raced slick, it raced hard, and you could get super speedway speeds on there. Now that they've redone it, now they've repaved it, it is in a way, its own way, the third super speedway on the NASCAR circuit. But this track is very reminiscent of that just because of how fast it runs and how fast you can get these cars wheeling around this track at personal hazard to yourself.
And you can see right there off the back end of Wes Graham's car, that is Tony Wilson in the 77 right now, about just 0.6 behind Graham, but now roundabout way a half a second. So I really thought Graham would start pulling on the 77 here after this many laps in so far under green, but that just hasn't happened. It goes to show that everybody here is trying different lines to see what the car will do. And as these tires start to wear off, we're going to see guys that are starting to jump lines.
As you do, and while we're on the topic of Kyle Carpenter, I should say, really cool to see his progression all throughout this season. 10 out of 10 races, he's taken 2 poles. 1 win, 7 top 5s, 9 top 10s. Incredible season for him. Incredible to see his progression and growth. Fun to watch him run that Tony Wilson thank you scheme. And again, Tony Wilson, who does most of the design of these cars, great guy. We want to shout him out as well. Chat, be sure to thank him for all the work he does behind the scenes to make sure these guys can run as hard as they do week in and week out. As soon as we push up Carpenter, as soon as we push him up, he must have heard it on the radio because he is now putting in a fight to catch up to Graham.
Yeah, he's right there on his heels, and I think this is just the difference of, starting to see that tire wear happen. We're seeing Graham running the same line he's been running, and we're already going to be running down guys that are in the back. There's Gooseman, and you got Brandon Buggs there that'll be under fire from being lapped right now. But you see how skewed the 88? I know this is the Twisted Sister. It's an insane-looking car. The ARCA car is kind of all sorts of twisted in its actual chassis, but we're seeing the 88 very loose right now, and Carpenter is just kind of going to be in the wake, maintaining pace with him by utilizing the draft. But on top of that, we're going to see guys that are starting to change up those lines. I've been talking about it lap after lap, but we're going to see it very soon, and I think Carpenter's going to actually benefit if he runs the top here.
I think he will. I think it's a matter of time before that car really starts coming to life on the high side. I'm really interested to see what Wes Graham is going to do when they're forced to go high. Is he going to try to stay low, or is he just going to let the car kind of do what it wants and work the way it wants? Time will tell, but Graham always is known for running his own line, kind of figuring out his own thing. I've got a feeling he may just try to stay low just because that's where he's comfortable.
Look, Joe, we're at 15 laps into this race so far of 150, and we have no cautions in sight right now. So I think it's time we talk about our 3 major sponsors here, and a huge, huge thanks to them for being a part of season 11 this year. And I've got to say, one of the biggest ones, obviously, is not just Thrustmaster, but Next Level Racing. Next Level Racing's come clutch. A lot of these guys using those products. And I'm telling you right now, I'm building the GT Elite Next Level Racing. Not the easiest thing in the world. I will tell anybody any day, hey, this is what's really going on. The reason why I don't have American Truck Sim content on and things like that. I don't have anything put together right now. It's an absolute shambles, and it's because of T-Nuts. Do you know what T-Nuts are?
I'm afraid to venture a guess.
Okay, so you have... You have an aluminum rail, and the T-nut goes in the rail, and it slides down to where you can actually pinpoint where you want things to be. So everything's adjustable. The problem is You have so many T-nuts that have to slide in these things. It's what's taking so long for it to be built. But they make great, incredible products. Thank you to Next Level Racing for being part of this season. Thrustmaster, of course, just announced they have a direct drive on, wheel on the way. I've been under NDA, Joe. I couldn't say anything all year about...
You've been teasing that at me for quite a while now.
Yes. I'm like, there's something on the horizon. I can't tell you anything about it. But
you've been holding the secret for like 3 months.
But I can tell you, hey, the cat's out of the bag, so they have a direct drive wheel coming in. Also, FRN, Flat Out Racing Network. You may be wondering, who is Flat Out Racing Network? These are the people that provide the graphics you see on the screen. If you want it for your own league, check out Flat Out Racing Network. Matt Rodriguez, that used to race in the league, and his counterpart, doing great things when it comes to the graphic design of everything in ATVO that we use for iRacing. So big thanks to all of our sponsors. We really appreciate you big time. Here comes the 88 to the bottom of the track to get around the 81, Joe.
The 81 will go ahead and go a lap down, but I think that's on purpose. I think he's got a bigger plan in play, or he's just trying to create some shenanigans. Either way, Bugs, we love you. We hope Liquid Death pays you for all the free publicity that you've been giving them all season long. Right now, currently running lap 20 of 150. Your top 5, Graham, Carpenter, Sargent, Lance, and Chavez Essery making a late reappearance back into the season. And while we have a moment, while we're talking about just all the achievements of the season, let me give out some other shout outs to guys who have done incredibly well this season. Nick Sargent, who's sitting 6th in points, he picked up his first, despite not having a pole all year, he was able to pick up a win this season. Big win. I don't believe that was his first of this league, but it's always a win when you can steal one over Wes Graham and the likes of Leonard Fodorero. 2 other first-time winners this season that definitely deserve a shout-out. Austin Johnson, who won the first race, Daytona International Speedway. His only win, his only top 5 of the season among 4 top 10s. He is right now slated to finish the season within the top 10 in points. And of course, who can forget the number 20 of Jonathan Orndorff, that huge win at Michigan, finding a way to put it all together at the end of the race. Smart racing and hard racing put him in victory lane for the first time in OCRP this year. 9 races run, and his 1 win was among 5 top 10s this season. So great job to all of those guys who have done some incredible things this season in the OCRP iRacing League.
And what an emotional win that was for the 20 of Jonathan Orndorff, being in that position of almost having to quit the league because of his PSC, but on top of that, just being beat down, not being in the right place at the right time, and everything just came together for him for that win at Michigan. And you know what it feels like to get a win in iRacing 1, but 2, on top of that, in OCRP, it's so difficult. And he's really shown that he means something. I think we're going to see a lot out of him in the next season for sure. So keep an eye on that 20 of Orndorff there, running in the 9th position tonight.
A lot of great talent has risen this season, and I've got a feeling that this is definitely going to be a sign of great things to come for the OCRP iRacing League when they do come back to grace our screens, probably sometime after the holiday season. Wes Graham now is on an island by himself right now, a half a second away from Kyle Carpenter, Nick Sargent, 2.6 seconds away from the lead. Jason Lance and Chavez Essery rounding out your top 5. Joel Brown, the number 43 machine, he, as we ride along with Nick Gould in that Dairy Queen Chevrolet. Joel Brown, definitely another guy who should absolutely get some credit this season. Has had a great run all season long with that beautiful head of hair. 5 top 10s in the 10 races he has attempted in that machine. A lot of excitement for what he's doing. So great shout out for him as well, running top 6 right now.
You mean to tell me that Joel Brown doesn't look like his iRacing counterpart inside that cockpit?
No, he is much more beautiful.
Yeah, the people that the 3D model that's in these iRacing cars, it's pretty funny actually to watch.
Hey, Chad, who am I going to get a cease and desist from first? My favorite hot dog in the world, that beautiful, plump, delicious Hebrew National, or Joel Brown for just drooling over him too much? Put your votes in the now.
I would say you're gonna get a cease and desist from Joel Brown's camp.
I think I've got a better chance of getting a cease and desist from Joel Brown for just admiring his beautiful, long, incredibly luscious locks over that. It's before I get one from those beautiful people who make the greatest hot dog on earth, all beef Franks, Hebrew National.
You know, speaking of beautiful locks, I mean, look, Wes could grow his hair out and he could have similar results, I think.
I think so. I mean, Wes is a beautiful man too. Don't get me wrong. I'm jealous now. You know, and what's really cool for him is this year's also been a year of transition for him. And I don't mean in the car. I don't mean in the racing. This year, he's gone to being a full-time streamer. He is now creating content every day over on his channel, twitch.tv/WesTheMess, doing big things over there. And, you know, so this has really been a year of achievement for him, a year of transition. And I think there's a little bit of poetic justice in him springboarding off that and winning the championship tonight.
Yep, and I think that's just a culmination of, you know, wanting to get things done. And, you know, speaking of wanting to get things done, Andrew Ewing came in here as a road racer and was really excited about racing in the league and in the Oval Series and racing these stock cars. And he's really come to his own. He's learned how to get around these circuits, you know, how to actually drive an oval race, and it's proved to be really, really, really good. So hats off to you, Andrew. Been an absolute pleasure watching you race this season, and you see him doing great things here tonight in the 12th position.
Andrew Ewing has only attempted 7 races, but talk about making the most of all those 7 races. 1 top 5, 4 top 10s out of them. That is a great percentage, no matter who you are. Back up front, Graham once again getting a great lead on the field. Carpenter in second, Sargent rounding out your top 3.
I'm watching these lap times here. We got Kyle Carpenter running a 34 flat, and so is Wes. So Wes is a 34 flat with a 3.3. So we're talking about hundredths when it comes down to it between him and Kyle Carpenter. But that last time right there, Kyle Carpenter a little faster with a 35.120. So a 10th difference between him and Wes Graham that last lap. And it shows right there. He's only about 0.3 back off of Graham's bumper. I think in the next few, probably 5 laps, he's going to be right there ready to pounce for the lead.
I also think that he's going to take his time. I think he's not in a hurry to catch up to Wes Graham, because remember the one race he did win at Mid-Ohio Speedway. He was in the mix between him and Fodorero, between Carpenter, Graham, and Fodorero. Carpenter was there the entire time. He was patient. He let everyone else make their mistakes, and when he did, he was ready to pound. So don't look for him to charge necessarily. He's going to wait for Graham to slow down. He's going to wait for those tires to wear out under the 88. And Carpenter, knowing that neither of them really have anything to lose at this point, I think they're going to put on a heck of a show once they go nose to tail.
And they're running very similar lines, you know, like we talked about, utilizing the draft a little bit here and there. But also, look at how sideways Carpenter is off the corner, and there's not a lot of speed lost there. So that means that Wes is equally out of shape.
Yes, that is correct. Both of them are a little bit out of shape right now because those tires are wearing out. They've been running that low line very hard. They've been really putting some weight on that car, putting some work in on these cars, and it's a matter of time now before they come down pit road. Generally, we only see 1 pit stop, maybe 2, depending on how many cautions there are. But so far, I'm betting on probably a 2-stop night for tonight. 32 laps being scored right now. We're about a fifth of the way through the race. I've got a feeling we're probably going to see some pit stops maybe around lap 60.
I think we're already seeing some people starting to do that, and one of those drivers, was that Rick Evans? Nope, not Rick Evans. Not Guzman. Was it Austin Johnson? I saw somebody on pit road. I'm not sure who it was.
It might have been one of the 3 cars that are at least 1 lap down. Guzman, Evans, and Bugs all being scored at least 1 lap down. Bugs, I believe, is 3 laps down in that liquid death machine. So he's got some shenanigans going on tonight. This is not characteristic of chat's favorite.
I think he was the one that I saw on pit road. It was him, and then there's Rick Evans and Guzman, all 3. But they went down a lap. He had nothing to lose here, so why not come down early and then stay out late? I think that's what he plans on doing here.
If we know if that's a Brandon Bugs that doesn't stream and we all know and love very well, I've got a feeling he's playing some long game shenanigans here, and I am absolutely here for it. If you're gonna try anything crazy, why not do it in the last race of the night, or the season, I should say.
Completing lap 34 now, 35 into this race, and behind Wes Graham in this shot you see right here is Tony Wilson. And he's fallen about a half second back. He had closed in about 3/10 back off the 88, and now he's a half second. So maybe it's time to conserve. And I think that's a smart move, because if you're going to beat the 88 tonight, it's going to be on pit strategy, not sheer speed.
Well, if any time you beat the 88, it's never on pure speed. It's never on brute force. It's all about strategy. It's all about being smart with a car, being smart with your surroundings, and being smart with the drivers around you. So, of course, if you're gonna be the man, you've got to beat the man. And in order to beat the man, you've got to be smarter than him. And Graham will admit it. Every time he gets beat, it's simply because he didn't think about something, he didn't put the thought through, or he just simply got beat by a better man on a better strategy.
And I'm being quiet for a reason. I just want to hear the engine sound here.
And what a lovely sound it is.
See how Carpenter's easing into that throttle once he apexed the corner, which is carrying that speed, and he's utilizing a little bit of the draft. But when he gets closer to the 88, he starts to suck in the car because of the draft. But outside of that, these guys are running very, very similar lines, and they're equal when it comes to what they're doing on the pedals.
They are again, these are two veteran drivers. These are two drivers who are very smart and know how to race each other very well on this track. So it doesn't surprise me that you're seeing those guys just go at it the way they are and race the way they are. Meanwhile, back in position number 8, it'll be Kyle Cleveland in that that Jack Daniels inspired car. I love to see it.
Yeah, look at that.
He's going to pick up position number 9 from Joe Ogle. Ewing, the 15 machine, he will be back there as well, rounding out your top 10.
Which is interesting. He started 20th, and he's been consistent every lap of making his way forward. Right now, very fast, 34.703 to the 34 flats that the leaders are running right there. But in the 34s, not the 35s so much. Just kidding right there, 35s. There we go. Not the 36s. He's running the 35s. But started 20th, and right now running 8th.
So let's go through your top 10 again real quick. Graham, obviously in position number 1. Carpenter kind of orbiting in his wake a little bit. We're about between 3/10 and 5/10 of a second behind Graham, but still stalking him all the way around. Nick Sargent is your third car in the top 3. That's all, folks. Jason Lance, who's had a great season as well, he will sit in position number 4 in that Rat Rod inspired, that Rat Fink machine back there. Chavez Esri, who is a late entry, no stranger to the OCRP iRacing League in the Ghost car, he will sit position number 5, but it looks like he's got no, that's a lap car behind him, so never mind.
And you have Joel Brown running in the 6th position. And the 43, Dan Shaver Chevy behind him. Nick Gould in the 14. He's had an up and down season. Actually, he's had some highlights of the season for sure, showing raw speed. Kyle Cleveland right now, we were just talking about him in 8th. And then Andrew Ewing in the 10th position. But right on the top 10 right there, Joe Ogle finally getting that car fixed, so we don't have to pour bleach into our eyes anymore.
No, it looks like they got a template of the car, decided that maybe the sponsor would appreciate it if they could read the name of the car, and went with it. So good for him. Just outside of striking distance, Jonathan Orndorff, Potter, Reno, Cyrus, and Rob Bearder, the RAR car, back in 15th. They will be your remaining cars on the lead lap. Guzman, Evans, and Bugs all down at least 1 lap, as you see more lap traffic getting past there. That'll be the 21 machine that's getting past there, and you'll be the next car 1 lap down of Austin Johnson.
Yep, so that puts a total of 15 cars on the lead lap as Wes Graham just went around Austin Johnston, your Daytona winner from earlier in the season, hanging on to dear life right now. Had not wrecked that car, and they've done a great job of maintaining green pace when it comes to the actual race of 43 laps into this of 150. And Graham right now out front with a half of a second lead on Carpenter. It's a matter of, hey, when are we coming down pit road?
It is. Well, at this point, it's a matter of attrition. It's a matter of managing the race, managing the tires, and just managing the cars in front of you and behind you. Right now, nobody's in a hurry to do anything crazy. It's the last race of the season. Everyone's taking it easy. Everyone's just going out for a cruise. You know, basically, it's a big, giant car show at this juncture, and that's okay with me.
We're going to talk about the end of the season. Let's talk about the points and how everything is lined up as of right now. Wes Graham is your championship winner right now. It would take a lot to change that because Leonard Fodorero decided he was not going to show up to the track tonight. He was not going to race the last two races, actually, I've heard. So once he figured he would not win in the championship, he just stopped showing up. So I'm not sure what that's about, and I don't know if we'll see him next season if that is the case. I'll just put that there. Jason Lance, Kyle Carpenter, Nick Gould, Nick Sargent, Alex Reno. What an incredible bounce that the 22 of Reno had to go from where he was at the beginning of the season all the way to 7th. And right now, +2 between Alex Reno and Nick Sargent. So it just goes to show, you know, you don't have to win races to be relevant in the actual standings of the championship. Alex Reno did a great job, and Robert Bearder behind him in 8th. It's very interesting to see a lot of guys that run up front all the time running further back in points. Then it's Austin Johnston, Joel Brown 5. Then we have Clayton Cyrus and Jonathan Orndorff rounding out the top 10 there, because we have a lot of guys that are just tied up in points right there. Very close between all those guys. Then you have the 302-302 battle between Cyrus and Jonathan Orndorff.
You know, and while we're at it, let's go ahead and give a shout out to the driver of that 22 machine in the AC Delco colors, usually running something that's talking about cars or airlines or aviation or trains. Alexander Reno has really showed off his chops this year and is able to really put together an incredible campaign of the AC Delco Chevy Impala. Of the 11 round races, he's run one top 5, 4 top 10s, but again, sitting 7th in points and hoping to stay in the top 10 all night long. You know, he's had a great season. He's really showed his maturity this season, and you just want to see it grow. You just want to see the guy continue to do great things out there. So great job on his season, and we look forward to even more in the future.
Well, they call him the Great Wall of Reno, but I would call him the Great Wall of Bangs, because I haven't seen bangs like that on a guy in a long time, actually. And if we just had pomade and just could push it back in his hair, he would have like the craziest pompadour.
He could, and you know, it wouldn't be a bad look for him either. He could make it work.
Not at all. And let me tell you what, this man right here that's driving the 22 AC Delco Chevy Impala SS, the #1 person that you see all the time in this Twitch chat, if you're watching here live on twitch.tv/jfavignano, the #1 and only moderator I do have that we have such a synergy in our brains that goes, hey, this is how we moderate the channel. And he's done just incredible things. He's been around for so long, and it's so incredibly awesome to watch what he has done, not only this season, but the season prior, because he started out with absolutely zero knowledge of iRacing, and he's gotten to where he's at now, and he's running the top 10 in points.
Absolutely. You know, again, a lot of maturity, a lot of great showcasing tonight, a lot of drivers who have really put together some incredible seasons to put together their best showing yet in this ARCA car. You love to see it, and I'm very excited for what the future brings for all of these drivers out here. A couple of noteworthy guys who are not out here tonight, but also deserve a big shout out for their seasons. Ryan Steinhoff, driver of the number 74 machine. He was unable to make it out to the race tonight, but certainly very excited for his season. In the 6 races, he's run 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s. It feels like we're always talking to him. And now Jason Lance comes down pit road.
Yeah, they're on pit road to get 4 tires and some fuel right now. So green flag stops are underway. Wes Graham right now, your leader by 0.7 of a second to Carpenter. We'll see if he's going to come down pit road next.
He could be the next one down pit road. A couple other notable drivers missing here tonight. Mitchell Calvin, driver of the 78 machine, unable to get everything going. Gage Bookman, who has been a consistent presence in the league all race long, not able to show up tonight, not able to make it tonight for technical issues. And Tyler Schultz, driver of the 94 machine that we normally see on a regular basis, also unable to show up tonight. Joel Brown now down on pit road.
Yeah, a lot of guys coming down pit road early. We're going to make it's going to take the next couple laps for a decision to come out of the leaders, but you're seeing guys doing a short pit here, and I think that that's the smart move. You know, you're hoping to short pit to get out there, maybe get a caution that traps the 88, the 77, the 51, down, and they really can't do anything, but they'll have to come down pit road if the caution comes out and they're under caution. So I think a lot of guys just trying to make that strategy work for them because it's the only thing they have left in their camp there, Joe.
Once again, if you're gonna go big, there's no better race to go big at than the final one of the season. You've got nothing to lose. You've got everything to gain. You've got all kinds of guys doing all kinds of different strategies. Just go big. Go make it work for you and have fun out there. I definitely applaud that strategy. Meanwhile, all eyes now on Graham when he's going to come down pit road. Because I guarantee you, when he comes down, Kyle Carpenter will probably come down, and then it'll open up the door for Chavez Essery, Nick Sargent, and the 15 of Ewing.
And how about the 15 of Ewing? You know, waiting longer and longer. He's going to maintain speed with the leaders, and he is going to try to pit on their cycle, and that's the difference right there between him. And then you see the 17 seconds back to the 26 of Ogle that's leading that charge of guys that are going to come down pit road earlier to be on a different cycle, and then Lance a lap down. So you're seeing the difference right there just based off of speed and time. But we're keeping our eye on Graham for sure to see when he's going to come down pit road. I would imagine that's going to be the next couple of laps or so.
Bad news for all you fans of Bay Area Bugs. Brandon Bugs has pulled the liquid death machine behind the wall for the night. The 81 not longer on the track, so we wish him well, and we'll see you around, boat boy. You know where to find him.
Well, some guys, when it comes down to iRacing, some tracks and car combo, you just don't get it, and you're not enjoying yourself with the car. I know what that feels like, so sometimes it's best to just come down pit road and do it that way. We got to look at Robert Bearder and what he's got on the hood of his car. Thanks for the broadcasts. And we appreciate you, Robert, for being just such a pinnacle of a driver, but also, sorry, I want to show love, but Wes Graham on pit road.
Wes Graham on pit road for the first time tonight. Almost to the window that I predicted, 55 of 60 laps. We'll come back and give Bearder his love, that Robert Carr some love this season. But Nick Graham now at the attention of his crew, and it looks like he went down alone. Carpenter went in before us. Caution's out on the field.
Caution on the field. This is exactly what the guys that just pit, this is what they were hoping for, and I'm not sure what happened there. Was it Gooseman that had a problem, or was it Austin Johnston? I'm really not sure. It's hard to say. But this has changed up everything. Sargent now in the lead. Nothing he can do right now. He hasn't been on pit road, but maybe Graham will be safe. Maybe he got screwed. I'm not sure. We'll find out here in just a few.
We will find out in just a few seconds when everyone comes around and we get this whole thing sorted out here. First caution of the night, about a third of the way through. Any idea what caused it?
No idea. Like, I didn't see it on on a timing screen or anything like that, but we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back with more action at Homestead for the Championship 150. And we're back with more action here at Homestead tonight for the championship 150. Crowning a champion tonight, and it's going to be hard to beat that 88 of Wes Graham. Now scored in the 4th position, but how about Kyle Carpenter out front right now? Things changed up here with the caution, Joe.
Quite a bit, as Graham was on pit road when the caution came out, so he lost quite a bit of position out there on the field to everybody. So as it stands right now, Kyle Carpenter, who won earlier in his usual Smoky and the Bandit paint, he's now eastbound and down up front with a cadre of great drivers behind him. But look who's now in the mix in front there, the guy we were just giving a lot of love to right there, the Ford of Rob Bearder. Incredible guy in the RAR car, and has had a great season all year long. The RAR car running this year for Rob Bearder. How has he done? I'm trying to look him up here. 11 starts, 1 top 5, 5 top 10s. Arguably his best season in the league. Will finish top 10 if he has a great showing tonight.
Interested to see him in the front right now because he is scored currently in the 14th spot. He's not a lap down. Interested to see how these wave rounds are going to change everything up here as everybody's going to go around the pace truck here. And one of those drivers is that Ford of Robert Beard. How about Jason Lance? Keep the change, you filthy animal. He's saying because guess what? He's in a position that worked out.
And who says you don't read the chat? Jason Lance, again, another guy who's had a great season. This year, and is only looking to build into it for the future. Lance is going to walk away this season with quite the campaign to show for himself.
We haven't talked much about the weather, but 82 degrees is the air temperature here in Miami right now, and 85 on the track temperature, so nice and cool. Lots of grip in the track. Southeast at 16 miles per hour. The winds, that's going to change things up a little bit here, especially southeast. That's going to be blowing those cars around, especially when they're on the backstretch.
Yeah, that backstretch has not been forgiving. I think that's why you see them try to work that low line down in the field. So now they're back through the Geico restart zone and should be green flag racing this time by. They are, and it will be Kyle Carpenter. The 77 machine gets the great jump, and he's dragging Chavez Esri with him.
He's going to drag him with him. We'll see what happens here, but the 77 very strong on that restart right there. The 51 of Chavez Esri, and look at Jason Lance drop to the outside there. Couldn't do anything with it. He'll fall back in line with the 88.
So top 5 now in single file. It is now 50-51 of Chavez Esri trying to look down low. Kyle Carpenter is going to block him on that side. He will keep everybody in his rear view mirror. Now look at Wes the Mess in position number 3. He's already won the championship, but his ego will not let him race these guys easy. He's going to try to force one of them into making an error to try to get his
caution flies once again. Not sure what that is. I see nobody red on the actual screen here. So it's the 70 of Evans that might have had a little bit of a tussle there. And Joe, cautions breed cautions. No difference here for the championship race.
Cautions breed cautions, as you see that hood tented in on the 70 machine of Evans. Not sure exactly what caused the Blue Max to come around. Let's watch it here on the replay.
Looks like it was off of turn 4, just one of those things. You see the 26 getting a little loose right here. They're running tight. 70 gets loose. Tries to overcorrect twice. Right in front of the 15. Nowhere to go. The 15 hits him. That's going to spin him around right there. And the 60 collects the 15. Hard inside impact right there. And the field will be back under caution because of it.
3 cars involved in that incident. That will bring out the caution flag for the second time tonight. And it just looks like Evans just got a little excited coming off that turn. He saw the competition around him, wanted to try to keep pace, and just unfortunately nowhere to go. And he will end up having to come back down pit road and burn one of those 2 quick repairs.
Well, Kyle Carpenter, very strong on these restarts. Just a strong driver all season. This is what he wants. He wants to see some cautions happen to get those heat cycles in these tires and to prevent the 88 from making big charges on him on the restart. So we're going to keep an eye on that. The 77 doing a really good job. So far, so good out in front of the 51 of Esri. And how about the 86 of Jason Lance? Very hungry for a win this season. He's in a good spot right now to try to spoil it.
Definitely in a great spot to spoil it, as the 26 is going to get a wave around this time by. He will get around the pace truck, which means we should be going back to green flag racing here sooner rather than later, especially when you consider nobody is going to come down pit road. Everybody is coming down, has already come down to the attention of their crew. Their virtual Goodyear racing tires, General Tire racing slicks are pretty new, and they're all full of virtual Sunoco racing fuel, so they should be good to go. They should be ready to get back at it here, probably around lap 66.
Well, there you go. At this juncture of the race, I'll use a word from Mr. Cortez. I actually use juncture a lot in my life, but I haven't whenever I broadcast with you because it's one of your go-tos.
That's part of the bingo card. That's part of the Joe Cortez bingo card. Hebrew Nationals, at this juncture, and there's a couple others.
But I will say at this juncture of the race, we're going to ask you guys in twitch.tv/JFavignano, if you're watching live right now, who do you think is going to win? Not the championship. We already know who's winning the championship, but the race itself, because it's kind of up in the air right now. And will we see somebody spoil it? Will we see Chris Essery? Will we see Lance, finish in a higher position than we would expect and to spoil the surprise? Now, the 88 of Graham wants nothing more but to win the championship and to win the race.
Of course, he would love to win the championship, win the race, but he's got a lot of guys around him that have won in this league, that are consistently competitive in this league. Kyle Carpenter, who's won the season already at Mid Ohio, he's currently in the lead. Chavez Essery, a previous winner, is right there in second. Jason Lance, the filthy animal himself, he's in fourth. And then of course you have Nick Sargent, you've got Ogle, you've got Joel Brown, Aviator Alex Reno, a lot of talent in this top 10. So anybody here could absolutely play spoiler to Graham's celebration tonight.
Well, I got to say, and hats off to Joe Ogle for running in the 6th position. Definitely brought speed here in the last few races. We've seen him up here towards the front, and no different here. So a lot of guys that were not sure about the ARCA car early on in the season are starting to figure it out, and they're bringing all of that talent here tonight to Homestead.
And again, it's the last race of the season. At this point, everyone's just out here having fun, just running laps for camaraderie, for friendship. Because, who knows? Because with the holidays about to get busy on us, Thanksgiving next weekend, who knows when the next time we're all going to get together and get back to green flag racing is, Jeff?
I'm sure they usually going to take off the next couple months before we see season number 12 start up, and not sure what season 12 will entail. We'll keep an eye on that as that information is released. But right now, the 77 of Wilson, your leader, and the control car, waiting for that official pace truck to duck down off of turn number 4. We're on the back stretch right now, so there's 2x2 all the way back. And I see a lot of guys towards the front, a lot of guys that we wouldn't have expected before, especially the 48 of Sargent up in the mix right now. He's going to be restarting in the 5th position there, Joe.
So get ready for a dogfight when we go back to green flag racing. Kyle Carpenter giving love to our administrator and resident artist in chief, Tony Wilson, in that 77 Darrell Waltrip inspired machine. He will be the leader and lead them back to the Geico restart zone for the 3rd time tonight. Carpenter in charge. Green flag is his when he wants it. He will wait for the zone to go all the way through. Green flag flies, and he gets a good jump, and here comes Wes the Mess right on his bumper.
Yeah, Wes made a great restart as well on the inside of the 51, and he's going to maintain speed right now between the two. And we'll keep an eye on Tony Wilson. Sorry, not Tony Wilson, but also Kyle Carpenter. Every time I see that, it reminds me of Tony Wilson, so I have to say his name on the car. But here comes the 88 to the bottom of the 51.
We love you, Tony Wilson. We certainly hope you know that. Side by side, the 88 and 51, Chavez Essery, Wes Graham. Wes Graham will get that advantage, and now he's headed for position number 1 with the 77 of Carpenter in his sights.
I was hoping Tony would make it down here to the broadcast booth so we could have him as a pit road reporter here for the final time around. If he wants to, he can certainly join us. It'd be fun to hang out with him. But a lot of battling all over the course here. And looking back here around, Kyle Cleveland, he's under fire from the 05.
The 05 will yield a position to the 11 of Kyle Cleveland in that Jack Daniels inspired Chevy Impala. The 05 forced to drop back. He might be dropping back a couple more positions. Meanwhile, back up front, it's Wes Graham, who's really got a handle on this car. He's going to try to make the move down low and once again take back the lead from Kyle Carpenter.
Side by side off of turn number 2. You see the momentum as the outside lane as the 77 of Wilson continues to pull away. And now you're going to see the 77 block him by running the same line, taking that air away, creating that clean air for the 77, and it's working out for him.
Working out great for him, and that just goes to show you how different this track is compared to other ones. Now, in most tracks, as we continue to run along with Graham, you try to run the low side to be safe, to get that speed and get the shortest way around the track. As caution comes out for the third time tonight, and not sure where it's coming from.
That'll be the 05 of Clayton Cyrus. Looks like we have damage all over the back of that car. We're going to find out what just happened. As the 05 went for a ride. It was off of turn number 4 right here. Battling on the outside of the 22 of Alex Reno. 05 loose by himself. Collects the 22 a little bit. And finds the wall. Hard damage right there into the 60. Hangs on to it. The 26 of Guzman in the back of him. Nowhere to go. A lot of damage to the 05. So Clayton Cyrus is going to find himself in the hot seat right now on pit road.
Looks like he had to get it towed down there too, so that's going to kill a lot of time on him. He'll need a couple more yellow flags to get back on the pace and get back in the race. Good news is he does have those quick repairs available to him, so he can just roll out a new car and be back on the race. Meanwhile, this Kyle Carpenter once again in the Smokey in the Bandit helmet. I've been sleeping terribly lately, and now I'm reminded why. That sleep paralysis demon of his helmet continues to haunt me.
Yeah, and you can clearly see why. You got Burt Reynolds there with the mustache, and it's hard to believe that Burt Reynolds has left us. What an incredible, iconic actor. I know that he was a huge part of my childhood in particular, and it's crazy, man. You almost start feeling old when you see those actors start to pass away. Sad.
A lot of lost talent in 2022. We've put a lot of great talent to rest this year. Been a rough year for a lot of different reasons, but but all you can do is celebrate the great things they had and the joy they brought to our lives as we celebrate the joy that these drivers have brought to us all season long in this ARCA car. You mentioned it, when you're talking about Bugs just not being happy with the car. This is a tough car to drive. It's underpowered. It doesn't steer very well. The brakes are crap. But these guys have really been able to find a way to make it work for them and have a lot of fun in the car. So my hats off to these guys. Anyone who can make this series a lot of fun to drive and a lot of fun to watch, there's a lot to be said for that level of having that level of talent.
We talk about losing a lot of different celebrities and things throughout the year, and the reality is, it just goes to show that anything can happen at any given time, and that no one's invincible. Everybody's going to get to a point where, to be putting it bluntly, we're all going to die someday. Sorry to say it, but it's true. And you see guys that are celebrating their lives, hanging out with each other, racing virtual race cars. Honestly, that is what it's all about. We're all sharing a hobby and a passion together. It doesn't matter. No one's invincible when it comes down to it. Why not enjoy your lives? And we're seeing guys that are doing that exactly here by racing virtual race cars together and having a we've called the OCRP iRacing League of family and guys that want to hang out together and all things like that. It's just, one of those things that I celebrate seeing it rather than being like, so-and-so's doing this and this and this, and I don't like how they're doing that. It doesn't matter. They're all digital pixel cars out here on the track, but they're real people that are behind the wheel driving the virtual cars.
And behind the virtual microphones that are bringing it to you, there are two very real people as well. And Jeff, there's nobody else I'd rather want to be in the booth with. And I've shared the booth with a lot of very talented people, but there's no one else I'd rather share a booth with than you, buddy.
I 100% agree with that. And I will absolutely be able to see you before the end of the year very shortly in person, as Mr. Cortez is going to try to make it for New Year's?
Oh no! Oh, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. We'll vlog it. We'll share it with everybody. It'll be an exhibition, to say the least.
Yes. At the end of the world, the man with the most toys wins, my dad says. The sad the sad reality is you can't take any of these toys with you when you go. It's just, I know. Yeah. People are like, well, thanks for the buzzkill. No, it's the reality. And you might as well enjoy it. What you see here, it's too easy to get caught up in some drama, or everybody's like, I don't like this person or whatever, or they're a jerk or whatever. It's like, we're all here. Everybody here that you see on this track loves iRacing. You would not be at this level if you didn't enjoy it and love it. So why not share that with your brother?
And we're about to share some more laps as the cross flag's getting ready to fly in 2 more. This time we'll go back to green flag racing, scoring lap number 75. And once again, it will be the 77 of Kyle Carpenter in the lead. But look who's on the outside of him, the 88 of Wes the Mess, Wes Graham, looking to take away that lead once more. And we know the high side is fast.
Yeah, we're going to see Wes utilizing that high lane, especially on this restart. This is going to be a money restart for the 77. He cannot drag too far back in the Geico restart zone. He needs to be on his game. In fact, I think he needs to go quicker in the Geico restart zone to try to mitigate the 88 from making a pounce on his position. We're going to find out right here. The 77 in the Geico restart zone. There he goes. Green flag back in the air.
Great start for the 77, able to keep Wes the Mess at bay. Timed it perfectly, and he will retain the lead. But now Wes, all over his back bumper, going to try to work his way around him, try to force 77 to make an error to open up the field. Now back on the field, Jason Lance, major trouble, has backed off the throttle, and he has fallen through the field like a stone in a frozen pond.
Yeah, that was sad. Jason Lance got lost footing there and lost a ton of positions. Right now, the 77 very loose off of 4 right now, and he's got his hands full right now trying to maintain speed on that 88.
The 77, again, you saw him make that unforced error as Graham all over him. Again, Graham's not going to wreck him. Graham's not going to put the chrome horn to him. Instead, he's going to just make him nervous and make him ride knowing that I'm on your back, I'm in your rear view mirror, I'm on your back bumper. All you've got to do is make a mistake, and I've got your lead, which is making him, I think, just a little bit more nervous and driving it just a little harder as we see him come off turn 4 perfectly that time by. Trying to calm the nerves as cross flags fly this time around. We are halfway done.
Halfway. We're going to be finding ourselves a champion and a race winner. And we're going to make sure that, if the winner of the race isn't the champion, we're going to make sure that they get to celebrate equally as well as the champion. But regardless, lights are all over the track right now. The temperature has fallen. Nothing but grip on this track. And now it's a matter of waiting for these tires to come alive because we have been on a shorter run with the cautions that have come out. And we're going to see guys starting to run different lines, and that's going to maintain the rest of this race if it stays green.
Big question being if it stays green. Now, for the first half of this race, we've seen a lot of great racing, a lot of smart racing that has only resulted in 3 cautions. But there are 2 things going against them. Number 1, we know cautions, precautions, and as they heat cycle these tires, once again, it's going to take them a little bit to get them back to heat and getting them back to where they were grip-wise. And then number 2, the commentator's curse is a very real thing. So if you don't believe that, we can call cautions or make cautions happen, you got another thing coming.
Battle right back here. Chris Essery and Nick Sargent going at it for 3rd right now. The 51 dropping at the bottom of the track. And look at that. The 55 of Ogle in the 5th position. He's up in the mix.
In the mix as well. Again, the cream rises to the top as Joe Ogles found some footing behind Nick Sargent. The Dairy Queen machine, though, trying to keep that machine churning in the right direction. Will stay in 4th behind Chavez Essery. Carpenter and Graham, though, are really putting on a clinic and starting to pull away from the rest of the field.
Oh, sorry about that. We had a blank screen right there to the desktop. Very, very strange. But it's okay. It happens. That's the beauty of streaming these things live. I believe I was sorry. right when that happened, I had just reached out to Civ Ryan. I was like, hey, you know, it's a championship race. I know you're not racing tonight. You should hop up into the booth with us. And he said he would be once he's finished eating. So he'll be joining us here for the end of the race, which will be very nice to send it all off. And here we are right now watching that 48 of Nick Sargent right up here, the 77, having a hard time holding off the 88 right now, Joe.
He is having a hard time. Wes is really fast in that car as he's been all season long. He's really dialed it in to his taste, to how he wants to race this track. And I think he's forcing the 77 to run a line he's not 100% comfortable with. I think Carpenter would much rather run that high side where he knows he can keep it high, he can keep it going fast. He knows he can use that air cushion against the wall to give him a little bit of boost, and we normally see drivers run this track. So I think that lower line is giving him a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I didn't see that coming so early in the race, or so late in the race. I thought it would be an early on thing, but right now we're seeing those guys battling with that exact issue, and it's hard to pass here now.
And it's going to be even harder to pass as these tires wear down, especially if they keep trying to make that low line the place they want to go. That low line is going to, even though it's cooler, even though this track is grippier and a little bit more forgiving, that low line is going to definitely grind those tires down, force these guys to race harder than necessarily they'd like to. And, you know, it's going to make some challenges for them on the field. Brian Potter right now being scored as the last man back after all those incidents. He is being scored, I believe, in the 13th position, has found his way back through the field, and now has a chance to, in that Petty-inspired machine, really make some noise on the track.
I was watching him because he was super loose and almost crashed the car. He was able to gather back up and get going straight there, but lost a ton of positions back up front. Carpenter holding now 2/10 on Graham. Graham slowly started to reel him in, and it's starting to get interesting. That is for certain.
What's interesting to me is the 51 to Chavez Essery is now within that standard deviation as well. So 0.3 of a second between Carpenter and Graham, 0.3 of a second between Graham and Essery right now. So these three guys are looking to make it a show. These three guys are looking to bring the league out this season with a bang and really see what they can do between them and who wants a challenge for this win.
And Essery and Graham are very, very similar in what line they're actually running around the track. And look at how Essery is committing to the center of the corner every single time, driving it out to the wall, never lifting. That means that, hey, I know what the speed my car is going to have on exit. I'm okay with it. And it's showing when it comes down to times right now. Chris Essery went to the 34 flat right there to the 33.9 the leader is.
So Carpenter, Graham, Essery, these guys are running away from the field. Nick Sargent, 2.5 seconds back. Joe Ogle, 4 seconds back. Joel Brown, 5 seconds back. Cleveland, 5.8 seconds. Joel Cleveland, 5.8 seconds back. Nick Gould, 6 seconds back. Bearder and Lance rounding out your top 10. The talent's still in the top 10, but really, this race is going to come down to the drivers of the 77, the 88, and the 51.
Jason Lance battling very, very hard on the bottom of the 4 car. That's right there for the 10th position, and he will fight on the outside again. The 4 is of Bearder, fighting Jason Lance on the outside after Lance had a little bit of a tussle there, almost wrecked the car, got it going straight again, and he's fine, but he lost a ton of positions when that happened.
Yes, he did. Now he's had a long way to go. The Ratfink has if he wants to try to get challenge in this race once again. But if anyone could do it, it is him. He has had a great season. He's going to finish this season in the top 5 with his 1 pole, 2 top 5s, 9 top 10s. May not win the challenge, the season, but he'll definitely challenge for the race, as I believe America's favorite Canadian is knocking on the door.
Oh, yeah, he is. And before we get to that real fast, I just wanted to say, I saw you were saying, hey, you need to plug your sponsors. I want to let people know, hey, when it comes to YouTube, when I re-upload these, I always put that we have a paid sponsorship involved. We don't. No one's paid us at all. Thrustmaster, Next Level Racing, they provided, products for me, for others in the league in the past. So I just put it in there regardless, but we're not directly paid by them every single race to say their name or anything like that. I'm just letting people know that so it's transparent, but I do put that in those videos that were a paid sponsorship, even though it really isn't.
I mean, I don't know. Getting free stuff from Thrustmaster is pretty cool.
We got Ryan in the house. Last race of the season, bud.
Last race of the season. Let's lay it all out there, boys.
How was your dinner of Hebrew National all beef hot dogs?
Yeah, I had about 9 of them. Just slammed them down.
You got to have 9 of them. If you aren't doing 9 of them, then you're not doing anything at all in your life.
If you're not doing 9 of them, what is even the point of living?
Well, not very long when you're eating as many hot dogs.
How many inches is that? 9 of them?
I don't put hot dogs in inches.
Don't put hot dogs in inches.
I mean, he's Canadian. We've got to put it in the metric system for him. It's how many centimeters.
Okay.
Get out of here.
You don't use inches in the metric system?
No, we
meters and centimeters. That's it.
We use inches and feet up here sometimes.
Sometimes.
We're a hybrid system.
A hybrid system. Only if you're trying to grow some grass on the fairway, I guess, but because it won't grow with centimeters and meters. No way.
Who's winning this race right now? Let's get
Kyle Carpenter.
Kyle Carpenter? All right,
Yep.
I'm joining the stream now. Here we go.
The man, the myth, the legend, Kyle Carpenter, running that beautiful paint scheme in honor of our administrator, Tony Wilson. He is currently your leader, as now we have a battle for position number 2. Chavez Estri almost door to door with West the Mess.
Yeah, how about that? Chavez Estri had all that speed earlier on. Graham forced to the outside in the middle of lane, and his car is very loose there. He's not happy with it. Estri moves into the second position.
It's entirely possible he's burnt off way too much rubber on that 88 machine trying to run
Here
low.
we go.
Everyone knows when you burn off too much rubber too early in the race, it can't end well for you or anybody else out there. You've really got to be careful when you're running on thin rubber.
So somebody's allergic to latex is what you're saying?
What I'm saying is you can't go too hard too fast, otherwise you'll blow the engine too quick.
I really like Chris Estri's scheme right now. That might be scheme of the week. I think.
Oh, dude, that is beautiful.
It's what an intricate design that is. That must have taken hours.
I'm telling you what, we haven't seen anybody challenging the lead right now, but Estri has been consistently fast, a 34 flat to a 33.9, but he's making it work right now. And I think a lot of it has to do with the actual draft.
Oh, no doubt. He's definitely working that draft very well. He's also done a great job of conserving the Ghost car, as I like to call it. Space Ghost out there is trying to run coast to coast on this track, and if anyone can do it, it might be him. But don't count out Graham yet. He is a very smart driver. He's found a lot of consistent speed in this car, and if anyone can get back in this race, it could be the 88 of West MS.
So, Jeff, I heard you ask, I was watching while I was eating dinner, by the way. I heard you ask Twitch chat who was going to win tonight. What was the consensus? We
didn't really get a consensus. It's usually people that were upset that Bugs was not performing how he should, in their opinion. And then that was pretty much it. And then I started talking about how everybody was going to die, so then nobody listened after that.
Well, it's dark.
Yeah, it got real. It's getting a little real tonight. So, just be prepared for that.
Look at the 51 making a move on the 77 right here on the front stretch. I think he's going to challenge him down into turn 1 here. He's got speed. He's not Scott speed, but he's got speed. You know what I mean?
Well, if he was Scott Speed, he'd be ramming it into the driver and sending him off the track like he did in iRacing.
Oh, you can't say that.
Hey, he got banned for it. I've seen the clips.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the clips.
Never forget.
Championship driver.
Hashtag never forget.
Never forget.
Dubell, I wish I could, I wish I could answer that question. I really don't know. I don't. Sorry. We try not to break the fourth wall, but tonight, for some reason, I'm just doing it. I'm like, we're at the end of the season. I don't care.
It's a free show from now on.
It's a free show. I'm a human. I'm a human too, God damn it. Pop. I'm a person too, Pop. That's from Wedding Singer.
He has needs too.
The thing is, Wedding Singer is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I quote it very regularly, and people have no idea what I'm saying sometimes. But I'm a person too, goddammit, Pop.
Shots fired at a Papa Fob, who's somewhere in the chat tonight. Meanwhile, on track, no big changes.
It's
Carpenter,
from the
Esri,
movie.
Graham,
It has nothing to do with that. Were you not listening?
Carpenter, Esri, Graham, your top three. Nick
Okay.
Sargent, fourth, and Joel Brown rounding out your top five.
Hey, he's the top 5, all right.
No one knows what boomer movies you're talking about, old man Jeff. So
Yeah, no one
stop it.
knows.
No one knows.
I'm just trying to make people understand that these are human beings that are behind the pixels that we're seeing on the screen, because it's easy to really dehumanize people when they're racing like this in this manner, because
Yeah, well, some of them race like it.
that's true. If we weren't doing this, they'd be running the mile at school, getting called an idiot or whatever. You know, it doesn't matter. This is just a glorified run in the mile. That's all it is. This is a glorified PE class.
Just need a guy on a golf cart in the infield yelling at them with a megaphone.
Exactly. Pit window so far we've seen has been like 45, 50 laps. So they're going to get it done in 2 stops. We've been green this entire time, and then we had 2 cautions that came out. Kind of changed up everything as far as strategy goes.
So look for them to pit around lap 110, 115. We should see them coming down pit road anytime now. And very interesting now, looking in the top 3 as Carpenter and Esri, 1 and 2, almost a tenth between them. And Wes Graham has really dropped off the rest of this group. He might be the first one to come down pit road among these 3.
That'd be smart, because you come down pit road, you try to get the car serviced as quick as you possibly can, and then hope they're going to make a mistake in front of you under green, and then you'll be able to capitalize on that. That's in a perfect world.
And as Chad has so pointed out very eloquently, the 88 is really hard on those rubbers he runs all night. He is definitely going to need some extra services.
What kind of services, Joe?
The services where you get 4 brand new virtual general tire, slicks on you, and a full tank of Sunoco virtual racing fuel.
Can't forget about that Sunoco virtual racing fuel, that's for certain. You would think we were sponsored by Sunoco, but we're not. It's a NASCArism that's brought over.
Hey, I'm trying to get paid.
It's as much of a machine as Joe says it is.
Okay. Esri now challenging for the lead down low. He could have him this time around. The lead has changed, and now Carpenter going for the crossover.
Beautiful crossover move right there. Here's the 77 down into turn 3. He's going to be side by side. Esri has that momentum carrying him through 3 and 4.
Has the big mo, but don't look out for Kyle Carpenter. He wants to wash away Chavez Esri in that Tide-inspired, Darrell Waltrip-inspired machine. Side by side, they continue to run. This is opening the door for Wes Graham, who's way behind them and starting to pull up.
And not Wilson, but Carpenter is on his car. But Carpenter doing a really good job of preventing that 51 from making the pass right now, forcing him to the outside lane. And it's very surprising that the outside lane is just not the fastest way around here tonight.
Ryan, you're a veteran of these cars. As the size of 51 gets way sideways coming off the turn 3 and 4. You're a veteran of this. Why are they having so much trouble in these ARCA cars on that outside line?
Track slippery. Car slippery. I don't know. I haven't raced this track in this car, so I don't know. I could just blow smoke up your rear end with pretending what I know what I'm doing, but no,
We prefer keister.
Up your keister. But yeah, I don't know. It must be like usually. There's some tracks where bottom line it is faster, but you're going to eat up your tires. So you kind of juggle going, tire saving to fast lines. So I'm not sure if it's the same on this track or not.
Still side by side. This is incredible racing right here for second.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want to see as Wes the Mets trying to get around Chavez Esri. We thought Wes had burnt those tires up too hard, but he's still showing he can run long and strong. All those rubbers he's got underneath him. Okay, I'll own that one. That's fine.
We were listening. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Let's all go back to the beautiful sounds of these engines as they continue to run around. Let's crank it up, Jeff. What do you say? One last time.
Well, I don't have that option, but we can try.
No, we'll just do it quietly. It'll be library. It'll be
I'll make the engine noises.
Okay, you like the engine noises? All right, we'll try. You like the rounds? Perfect.
Nailed it.
10 out of 10, Ryan. I would absolutely hire you to be my sound guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just not turned all the way up. We don't have a crank. We don't have a crank cam on our budget in this final race. It was removed.
Sorry, guys. I tried to get the Hebrew National sponsorship going, but they never respond to my emails or tweets.
I'm surprised not a single car in the field has Hebrew National on their car, even after this entire season. I can't believe it. No one, it's confirmed, no one watches these broadcasts.
Yeah, we didn't see any Hebrew National cars. We didn't see any Trojan branded cars. I was really surprised, but nonetheless, the racing has been incredible all season long, as now we're down to under 50 laps to go before the season is over.
They could have had a Trojan car with fresh rubbers as the slogan.
Always keep your rubbers fresh.
But alas, we do not have it. And it is what it is. A Carpenter right now out in the front right now. 3/10 on Esri. Esri sideways off of 4, trying to maintain speed with the 50 or with the 77. And unable to do it. But right now, Wes Graham about to win this championship, but wants to win the race as well. We have a lot more racing to go. Anything is, anything can happen from here to the end. And I think one of those things we need to talk about is green flag stops, as they will be coming up once again.
Should be coming up any lap now. We're right about in that window, and I'm really curious who's going to be the first one to throw their hands out the window to announce everybody, I'm coming down. When it was the last time around, Graham didn't come in until much later. We had several guys come in before him, including Jason Lance, and I believe the 48 Nick Sargent came down early. So now what's going to be the order be when they come down pit road?
Jeff, real quick, there's a good battle brewing here between Andrew Ewing and Nick Gould for P6 and 7. Andrew Ewing was looking to make the move there. And as you see behind them, that's going to be Jason Lance and Kyle Cleveland battling it out for 8th position. So there's some good action going on back here. Not to distract you from the top 2 guys, but...
Oh, no, you're fine. We've been talking good things about them the whole race. And they've been doing good things.
All over that rear bumper. Andrew Ewing has been crazy fast in our Monday night leagues. He's been doing the whole not qualify and then make his way all the way to the front on the road tracks. He is very, very quick in road cars, and he's very, very quick in ovals.
It's been incredible to watch during the road racing we've seen all season, but also, yeah, he's a guy that's just like, hey, I really like oval racing. I want to give it a shot, and he did. And it's shown, like, ever so slightly. Joel Brown on pit road.
Not only that, but most importantly, he's got one of the best attitudes out here amongst the drivers. He's just always happy, positive, and happy to be out on the track and be racing with everybody, and just a really positive member of the league. You love to see it.
We all need good vibes from time to time.
Yep.
We do whenever we're reminded that we're gonna die, like constantly.
Can you not? I don't want to get into existential crisis live. I do that on my stream.
Well, I already know how to do that.
Yeah.
You just start speck of dust in it.
Don't start talking about space. I literally collapse into myself.
No space. Space doesn't exist, Ryan. It's just a black square in the night.
No. Especially because I read an article that was like, top scientists confirm that we actually might be alone in the universe. So there's some food for thought for you.
Don't watch NASA, or don't watch anything what NASA's doing. Don't look at the James Webb Telescope at all.
I did see the Artemis launch, though. That was pretty badass. I will say that.
I watched it last night. Very exciting to see us go back to the moon, even though it's unmanned. We'll see if it can actually survive the slingshot. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully they land on the moon, finally.
Won't Apollo 13 it with Tom Hanks screaming at the crew?
Wilson. Oh, that's the wrong movie.
Kevin Bacon. Kevin
Was
Beacon.
in that?
Kevin Bacon was in
Yes,
that movie.
he was.
yes.
Yeah.
God, I haven't seen that movie in forever.
And then the other guy that plays a lot, he plays like a detective a lot of times. He's a
Pit stops.
He's a cop. Here we go. Graham staying out, not coming down pit road. This is gonna be a strategy call right here, Joe.
All about the strategy call. We knew he would not come down pit road when everyone else did. So far, Joel Brown's come down pit road, and now your two leaders, Chavez Esri, who was the leader at the time, will follow Kyle. Will bring down Kyle Carpenter and look for them to get the same exact services on their vehicles. 4 brand new slicks or General Tire slicks underneath him, and a full tank of Sunoco Virtual Racing Fuel. Now he's got more company. Gould comes down pit road, and I believe that was another car came down. I didn't see it. Now comes the 88.
Wes Graham on pit road as well. Everybody's making their last stops of the night. We'll see what happens here. Probably need a little more alcohol to dump on it to try to finish this thing out, but what an incredible season it has been. The 88 is going to win the championship, but right now we're watching who's going to win the actual race itself. Sargent's still out on the track there.
So Sargent currently being scored as your leader. Graham and Ewing both on pit road. Jonathan Orndorff, who won at Michigan earlier this season, being scored position number 3. Chavez Esri and Kyle Carpenter will probably be leaders once everyone cycles around for their pit stops.
So that's the 48 right there, the leader. And then Chavez Esri right just in front of them with the 77. Now they're going to be pulling on the 48 here. And there's the 88 of Wes Graham right there. So that gives you a good idea of what's going on here. Nick Sargent, your leader, hanging on to everything. He has not been down on pit road yet.
Interesting to see when he up. Announcer's curse right there. He has decided now is the time to come down pit road. So the 48 will yield the lead. And once again, we are cycled back through to how things were just a few minutes ago. Chavez Esri will once again inherit the lead. Kyle Carpenter second, Wes Graham third.
We have to look at actual box time on those green flag stops, and a 14.6 for Chavez Esri, but also have to keep an eye on Kyle Carpenter. A 14.4. He had the fastest time in his box on pit road, so the fastest pit stop goes to the 77 of Kyle Carpenter, which is just behind the 51 right there.
So slowly but surely, the wheels turn on all of these cars as we find ourselves counting down towards not the end, but what will probably be a new beginning for a lot of drivers out here.
And the reason why I bring that up is because it's interesting that just that little bit of time was made up by the 51 on the exit of pit road. So once you get out on that actual service road and you start bringing the car back up to speed and blend back into traffic, the 51 managed speed better than the 77 on exit of pit road. But in the box itself, the 77 was that much quicker. Not a lot quicker, but 0.2 of a second. That's a pretty big deal.
32 laps left to go before this season is over, and Chavez Esri, the ghost car that we've talked about so much tonight, continues to run strong on the field. 0.3 over Kyle Carpenter, which is about the split we've seen between first and second all night long. Meanwhile, Graham caught in his own time zone. All he has to do, he doesn't even have to finish at this point. At this juncture, he doesn't even have to finish in this dog-eat-dog race. All he has to do is pull over to the side whenever he wants to watch the chaos happen, and he'll still win the championship. At this juncture, he doesn't have to do anything. He can just enjoy himself. Let the guys run for the lead. Let them run for the win. He's just gonna sit back and watch the world turn.
We're watching the 51 that's leading right now, and then Kyle Carpenter right behind him, and then Wes Graham 4 seconds back right now from the leader. There's gonna be a lot of room for improvement when it comes to 88 to try to get back up there and battle for the lead or bank on a caution, one of the two. And well, anything's possible right now. We still have a lot of racing to go. Well, I mean, not a lot, but almost a lot.
Ryan, you're kind of quiet right now. Are you still thinking about the Cosmos there, buddy?
I'm good. No, I'm just enjoying this race. I'm just chilling.
He's happy to be sitting at his desk flying through a, he's a speck of dust flying through the...
All right. Okay. I gotta go.
Just remember, Ryan, you will never truly be alone. You've got me. I'll be here for you, buddy.
He's a speck of dust, too. Joe's a speck of dust floating in the air.
Actually, I like to think of myself as 3 Wolverines standing on top of each other's shoulders in a trench coat.
Okay. There you go. What happens when you get suplexed?
What?
Well, he's a wrestling fan. What happens if you get suplexed? Those Wolverines their bones are gonna shatter to pieces. Then what?
Well, not if they fall right. I mean, something you got to remember about taking a bump in a wrestling ring is it's number one, all about trusting the guy who's working with you, and number 2, being able to set yourself up for the bump correctly. If the Wolverines set themselves up just right and are able to land it in a fluid motion, they may break the illusion of the trench coat a little bit, but they're not gonna necessarily shatter. They're not gonna die. They'll just You'll see the Wolverine's scuttle underneath the trench coat, trying to get back to man shape again.
I'm gonna imagine it to be anything but.
What the hell are we talking about right now, boys?
Well, he's talking about wrestling, and I'm not even a wrestling fan, and I have seen AEW live, so that tells you the state of wrestling right there.
Where did you go to AEW?
In Orlando.
Oh. That's actually at Daly's place?
Yeah, I saw, what's the guy that has the blonde hair and his wife that has the blonde hair that recently retired?
Ric Flair.
No. What's their name? They're in AEW. They're retired. The husband and wife, they were just recently retired.
Oh, no, just recently retired?
Yes.
The only guy with blonde hair I know I can think of that's no longer there is Cody Rhodes.
Yes, the Rhodes. Yes, I saw that. I saw one of their last shows.
Good guy. Seems to be a really good guy.
There you go. Well, Joe was writing about them, and now I'm writing to them. Thank you for the memories. I'm not a wrestling fan, but even I watch AEW, so that should tell you the state of wrestling.
I mean, I did spend a lot of time this year with GCW. Shout out to my boy Effie.
How'd that go?
It was an entertaining run, let me tell you. Going around the world with them and back, being their driver and logistics guy in Liverpool and London, especially right with the Queen dive, that was
oh God, to be a fly on the side of that taxi cab.
Oh, it was a trip. Chavez Essery back in the lead, 0.7 of a second on Kyle Carpenter. Graham in his own time zone. Joel Brown, Nick Sargent, your top 5 right now. And it seems like everyone's just kind of settled in for where they're going to sit in this race. 24 to go, 23 when we hit the start-finish line. This is Chavez Essery's race to lose. And, you love to see it for him.
You do love to see it for him. And Essery came back strong at the end of the season. He was absent forever and then showed back up. And right now, he's showing a lot of speed. He could absolutely upset the win here tonight at Homestead.
And again, if anyone's going to play spoiler, I would love to see Chavez Essery do it. He's made a big comeback this season after taking some time off the track. And in a limited season this year, he's made the most out of all of his starts. Out of the 5 starts he's run, 6 tonight, he'll have 1 pole, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and potentially add his name to the winners column.
Well, we have some exciting information, and that is that, next season, Mr. Siv Ryan, that's here in the booth with us, he's going to be the new CEO of the OCRP iRacing League.
Wow. Congratulations, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, Chairman.
Returning.
The returning chairman.
Yep. They're bringing
Siv Ryan.
Yep.
So it's all in his hands. Whether or not we're going to bring this broadcast back together or not.
Well, the broadcast's not in my hands.
Well, if there's no racing, there's no broadcast. It's that simple.
We're switching to a Mario Kart League effective immediately after this race.
Pack it up, pack it in, boys.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
It's
Let's
go. So if we do go to a Mario Kart League, everyone wants to know, Jeff, are we going to see you running the Mario Kart League? And more importantly, what is your preferred racer in Mario Kart?
No, and no.
It's open setups too.
Open setup Mario Kart.
Yeah, open setup.
Then I'm definitely going to go with Donkey Kong.
See, I got you more of a Bowser guy myself.
No.
No?
Nope. I will choose either Peach or Donkey Kong. Those are my two. Usually Peach. Or was it Rosalina?
Rosalina's a cutie, man. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Definitely have seen stuff. I looked up some articles.
Doesn't she look just like Peach, just in green?
No, that you're thinking of Daisy.
Daisy. Yeah, that's the one. The Daisy. That's the peach, the green peach.
Green peach.
Green peach with the green shells. No, that would make this a lot more exciting, right? These guys had shells to shoot out the front of their cars.
But the one guy who does not want to see a shell, and most importantly, that blue shell, is Chavez Essery, who is just running away with this field, almost or 3/4 of a second now on Kyle Carpenter, 4.2 seconds on Kyle Graham or on Wes Graham, and just everybody out there really in the dust of Chavez Essery. I'm not sure if they're just letting him win or if he's just stealing everyone's lunch money right now. But either way, he's in a beautiful place right now and could walk away with a win.
He could. He's just hoping that nobody's going to crash their car in the next few laps and make it a green, or make that green into a yellow. We'll see if that happens here. But now about to pounce on the 22 and the 60 to take those laps away. We currently have 14 cars on the lead lap, but if he gets by these two, that'll put only 12.
Rosalina has more of a bluish dress than a bluish green dress, but I think she's definitely the cutest of all three.
No, I haven't seen her in years. I haven't seen her in years.
Ryan, who's your favorite Mario princess?
Oh, Elsa.
Cortez.
Rosalina, all day long. She's my girl.
Cortez with the brown shells.
The brown shells. Is that a Mexican joke? Because it can be. I'm okay with that.
No, it wasn't a Mexican.
I appreciate how you had to pause the mic and not laugh at that one. Bolton.
I thought of something else. I thought of something else, but then I forgot that your last name is Cortez, and you would. Yeah, there you go.
Bulletin just being handed to me from the AP as the 22 gets to go low. Wes Graham projected to be the champion of OCRP iRacing season 11.
You didn't need AP for that.
I don't want to be the one who calls it prematurely. Meanwhile, Chavez Essery putting on a clinic. 15 to go at this juncture, and Essery just cleaning up the field right now. Over a second on Carpenter and company. It is absolutely his race to lose. Go Chavez, go!
I do love the AP poll. They never get anything wrong. I agree. They never get it wrong.
I'll wait for Reuters before we make our official call here on the broadcast.
Yeah, Reuters is going to call it tonight here on the OCRP iRacing League.
We've had stranger things happen.
You're not wrong. Ryan, thanks for joining us on this final push to finish the season out. Chris Essery is the upset winner tonight if he can maintain it and the yellow flag doesn't come out, which would force them into a stacked position to do some green-white checker racing.
Not to jinx or anything, but I was watching, and when you asked which driver you think is going to take it, his was up there in my mind for who I thought might take it tonight.
No sponsor, no wins so far this season. That could change.
But he has had two. I was about to say, he has had two top fives. I'm sorry, two top fives, 3 top 10s. We've definitely talked to him in the post race, and we've asked him, are sponsors coming to the Ghost Car? Obviously not this season, but maybe next season.
I think he cleansed himself and he was like, hey, if I'm worthy of getting a win here, I'll do it with no sponsor. No virtual sponsor. Is there anybody in this entire field that's getting paid by any of the sponsors that are on their cars?
I was.
You were the only one.
Yeah, big flex. Weird flex, but okay.
You were the only one. Well, it's not even paid. You get a kickback off of sales, right?
I get commissions, yeah.
Yeah.
And I get free stuff, so.
But they're not, yeah, they're not giving you a lump sum to put their name on your car.
I can't discuss the deals.
Oh, okay, but you're the only one who was
NBA.
actually getting paid any monetary gain off of the actual sponsor in their car. That's what I'm saying. Nobody in this field is.
Hey, if I want to get my hand on some gamer gulps, how do I do that?
I'm not cleared by Jeff to advertise my stuff on this broadcast.
No, you can,
so I will not
you
do
can
that.
do that.
No, it's fine.
There's no direct competitor. Do we have G Fuel on here? No, we do not. So yeah, there's no energy drink company that is directly sponsoring anything to do with this league. So have at her.
Well, the only reason I actually work with them is because I genuinely enjoy the product. I'm like you, Jeff. I only tout shit that I actually enjoy.
Yes.
So I use it every day. I enjoy it. Gamersubs.com and discount code CivRyan for 10% off. There you go. Thank you.
It's a very weird name, Gamer Subs, because supplements.
Yeah, they originally started by Gym Bros. Their
More like
supplement
Gamer
company.
Sus.
They actually came out with these energy bars called Sus bars.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I do not recommend. Sorry, Gamer Subs. They're not great. I don't like the name either. So
Doesn't like the name, doesn't
those.
like the product, but you like the energy drink itself.
Buy some peach tea. It's delicious. It's the best tea. Trust me.
I'm about to go. I'm about to go after this race and go pick up some of that gamer grumps, the gamer gulps, the gamer grumps.
Yeah, the Gamer Grumps. Yeah, you got it right
Grumps.
the first time. They absolutely
Aaron
sponsor
and Darren.
everything we're doing here.
8 laps left to go at this juncture. Chavez Essery now being projected to win by Reuters after picking up a 2.6 second lead over Kyle Carpenter, 3.3 over Wes Graham. Graham still projected to be your champion tonight, but Chavez Essery, you loved, I'm just so happy for him, man. I am so happy for Chavez Essery. Despite his limited season, he is making the most out of every start, and tonight he could walk away not the champion, but a big winner and a champion in my heart.
It's the 6 to go, sponsored by Gamer Grumps, the Game Grumps that are Dan and Aaron. We really appreciate you for nothing and everything you brought this season. We appreciate you.
I love those guys.
I love them too, but we're not sponsored by them.
No.
But Joe gave them a plug. He incorrectly said a name of another company, and it gave them a direct plug.
You know what? I just couldn't think of. I couldn't, for the first half of the season. I couldn't read Ryan's brand.
It's actually Game Grumps is the non-affiliated sanction, but yeah.
I would love it if you ended up on an episode of Guest Grumps, Jeff.
If I ever was, it would be an absolute honor, and maybe one day I will be, but not anytime soon.
I feel like you're big enough and you're important enough to make it work.
I don't think so.
6 to go, and Chavez Essery now being projected to win by pretty much everybody. Fox News just came in with a projection. CNN projecting Essery to win. Kyle Carpenter has not conceded yet.
He's right there in the wake, man, and he's got the 88 all over him.
They could, with 5 laps to go, if they got something together, they might be able to challenge him. But Essery, 3 seconds away. That's going to be a very, very difficult gap to make up at this juncture.
It never fails. The 88 and the 77 are going to be battling side by side, and they've always put on a great show and nothing short of amazing here tonight at Homestead.
Another great clinic from Carpenter and Graham side by side. Graham will take away position number 2. Carpenter willingly gives it away, and they will continue to run as Chavez Essery takes down the laps. 4 to go, 3 when they get to the start-finish line, and the Chavez Essery show keeps rolling on.
And the 88 trying to make a move towards the front. Just not enough laps are remaining unless the caution comes out anytime in the next couple laps. But I'm not making that to happen. Look at the 77. Huge run off of turn 4 down the backstretch. It looks like a little bit of netcode finds the wall. And that's going to hurt him, actually. But on our screen, it looked like he was perfectly fine there. Very strange.
Might have bottomed it out as he was just trying to run as hard as he can. But meanwhile, we see you guys throwing the bits out there. The more bits you throw out, the longer we're going to go out on the track. We're on the track. Just saying. The more bits you throw out, the longer we'll stay on the air. Just saying. Meanwhile, Graham Carpenter continue to fight it out. This time by popsicle sticks in the air. 2 to go. Essery, Graham Carpenter, your top 3, but all eyes on Chavez Essery.
Essery got around the 20 of Jonathan Orendorff, and Essery's going to lead him back around to try to find that white flag in just a few moments. Drops to the bottom of the track and is going to maintain speed right now. Running a 33.862 to the 33.972 that last time on Wes Graham. So maintaining a lot of speed. Coming across the line, 1 to go. Sponsored by Thrustmaster.
White car, white flag, everything in line for Chavez Essery as he comes around turns 1 and 2 to the backstretch for the final time this season. Ryan, take us home.
Let's go home, boys. 1 lap, couple corners left, and Chavez Essery putting on a clinic tonight. Oh, there's some bumping and banging going on back here, but we're not worried about it as we're right on board to watch Chris Essery win this race across the line.
There you have it, finishing out season number 11. The ARCA car, let's put it in the ground and put some dirt on top of it. That is it right there. It finishes it all out. Essery, your winner tonight at Homestead, and the champion will be that 88 of Wes Graham.
Wes Graham finishing second, has the 77 all over his back bumper. I think he's trying to give him a little bit of a love tap there. You see the 48 of Nick Sargent, Nick at Night there giving him a little love as well. Wes Graham, what can you say about Wes Graham that hasn't already been said? In the 12-star season he's had, 4 poles, or I'm sorry, with this one, 5 poles, 4 wins, 12 top 5s, 12 top 10s. I don't think he's finished outside of the top 10 at all this season. As everyone comes down pit road, they're gonna let Chavez Essery celebrate his big win here tonight. But I think everyone is gladly congratulating the man, the myth, the legend, the one who has been dominant all season long. That is Wes Graham, who is politely giving Chavez Essery his due.
And there you have it. We saw it towards the end, just a lot of green flag racing, saying hello to each other there, and now the 88's going to be celebrating as well to win that championship, and we'll try to hide that away again. There we go as they cross the line. But right now, Wes Graham, your winner of the championship here for season 11 in the ARCA cars, and Chavez Essery is the race winner. We'll have more here shortly when we talk to those drivers in a few. Before we talk to those drivers, let's go ahead and get your race results right there. Chris Chavez Essery taking the win right now. Wes Graham in second. And then Kyle Carpenter, Nick Sargent, Joel Brown, Jason Lance, Kyle Cleveland, Robert Bearder, and Nick Gould, Joe Ogle round out the top 10.
Well, since Joe isn't here, I'll do this.
All right.
11th place, you got Andrew Ewing. Or Jonathan Orendorff takes 12th. Alexander Reno in 13th. Ryan Potter, 14th. Rick Evans in 15th. Clayton Cyrus, Zachary Guzman, Austin Johnson, Brandon Buggs with an unfortunate race for him, and Tony Wilson was our race control. So
Very
Jeff, let's go talk to some drivers.
Unfortunate for sure, but yes, we will go talk to them drivers. I'm sure they're going to be very excited to talk to us as per usual. We'll be right back. All right, we're going to get caught up with Mr. Chavez Essery. Came back out of nowhere recently, back into the league, and you are going to get the win. A little bit of an upset for our champion here tonight, but hey, look at that. Started 14th, drove your butt off tonight, and you're going to finish in the first place. Tell us about your race, and congratulations on the win.
Yeah, first off, I just want to say congrats to Wes for winning the championship. I actually didn't think I was going to make it to this race. I got off work late, and I got in the sin 5 minutes before qualifying. But, yeah, I just went out there, drove it, hoped it stuck because it was real loose all night. Made it up to third, got the caution, and then it was probably the most fun racing I've ever had, racing with Kyle and Wes up there for the lead.
Has anybody ever told you that you not only sound and you look a little bit like Ray Romano?
No, but I like that.
All right, there you go. Started 14th. You drove your butt off, man. It was a lot of fun to watch you battling there with Wes, but we're going to catch up with the champion and in the second spot. Wes, tell us about the season and what it means to win the championship for you tonight, one. But number two, what happened in your race? You're right up there in the mix, and then some things changed up right there with that caution.
Yeah, caution definitely did not come out at the most opportune time there. I was very surprised that we went green that long there at the beginning. These cars were a lot to handle tonight. You know, it was a lot of fun out there. I had a lot of fun battling Jerry there at the beginning. I felt like I was holding him up a little bit, and maybe he was saving his tires. And then towards the end of that run, he started falling back a little bit. And Chavez Essery came out of nowhere. I mean, dude was a freaking rocket ship after on that second green flag run. And I did all I could to hold him off, burnt my stuff off, and should have came in on the same lap that they did. Probably would have been a little bit closer than what I was there. But, you know, just decided, you know, already had the championship in the bag. So I'm just going to save my stuff and see if I can't get up there. You know, maybe they start racing each other or something. But, you know, congrats to Chris on the win. Congrats to everybody on a well made season. This is the sixth one for me. So, you know, feels pretty good. I kind of wish these last two races kind of played out a little bit different. You know, I would have preferred Favignano been here for those, but I guess he just couldn't make it, or I don't know what, you know, miss him out here because he's a hell of a racer. I'd love to race against him, but you know, after serving the suspension, you know, I was kind of thinking that I was going to come out of Michigan at a deficit and ended up, you know, gaining points. I don't tell me how that works. I have no idea, but you know, just proud of the boys here. Proud of everybody. It was a lot of fun. Thank y'all for the broadcast all year. If this continues, you know, I'd love to be a part of it. I don't know what's going on, but you know, here's to hoping.
There you have it. Wes Graham starting in the pole position, will finish in second and takes the championship here tonight. That's all I got really have to say, other than yeah, no, it's unfortunate that Favignano wasn't here to give his all in the last two races, but it is what it is, and we'll move on. Ryan?
Oh, I'll pass it over to Joe. I'm going to stick around and talk to these guys after for the drivers meeting.
Okay, there, bud.
All righty then, Kyle Carpenter. First off, before I even ask you about your race, I got to ask you about the paint scheme. It's not the usual Firebird we saw. What was the paint scheme tonight, buddy?
This is the I've ran it before. I ran it from Darlington and Pocono. This is one made by our Tony Wilson from WMD Paint Shop, and just I couldn't let it sit in the garage for the last race. I figured it'd pop a little bit better on the track, and it just looked so good. I had to run it one more time.
Definitely a great tribute to the guy who paints a lot of these cars out here and makes you guys look so good week in and week out. Now let's talk about the race. You started in second. You held the lead for quite a while. Then all of a sudden, a ghost car comes out of nowhere and spooks the entire crowd, spooks the entire field. How did you think at one point that this race was yours to lose?
I don't know about all that. I knew it was all three of us were pretty close. Me, Wes, and Chris Chavez, and it just depended on how hard you drove the car and if you burned your tires up or not. And once that ghost car got out in front of me, that last stint there, he definitely scared the tires off of my car. That's for sure.
So now what? So the off season is on us. Where are we going to find you at this off season?
I don't know. Hopefully we'll find us some off-season stuff to do and get ready for next season.
The Bandit already working on that Firebird, getting it ready for next season. That is Kyle Carpenter, driver of the 77 machine. He finished third tonight, one position down from his start. Nick Sargent, Nick at night in the 48 machine. You had a great run, but it seems like somewhere along the line you just lost the lead pack. What happened to the 48 tonight?
Yeah, I just wasn't able to keep up with those guys up front. They were really, really good tonight. I still had a solid run, ran, fourth, fifth most of the race, and it was that was just about all I was really looking for. And yeah, it was a really fun race. I wasn't expecting the long green flag runs like Wes said. In practice, it was really, really slick. So everybody did a really good job out there, and it was I really enjoy running this track. It's one of my favorites, and yeah, I'm looking forward to next season. Hopefully, try and chase down West for a championship.
Well, go enjoy yourself at Dilly Bar. You've absolutely earned it tonight. Nick Sargent started third, will finish fourth in what has been an incredibly respectable season for him. Rounding out your top five, Joel Brown in the 43 machine. Joel, I've just been informed by your lawyers I'm supposed to do this interview from 6 feet away because of my commentary on your luscious, beautiful, long blonde locks. But an incredible race for you. Start out 15th, run all the way up through the field, and even led 10 laps.
Man, I won't tell nobody about the 6 feet rule if you won't. But yeah, we had a really good running out there tonight. We always seem to do really well here at Homestead. We got a win a couple seasons ago here in the Xfinity cars, and our team seems to do well here at this track. Qualify. We didn't want to qualify. Didn't want to mess anybody up because these cars in practice they were a lot looser than I expected them to be. So we took our time out there. We got caught a lap down during the pit, going back and forth in the pits there. But luckily we were the first car lap down. We got our lucky dog spot and we were able to push up through the field. And then I just had to hold off Lance there at the end. Man, me and him he was right there at my back door the whole time. And luckily I was able to fend him off and come home with the top five.
Joel, been a crazy season for you, but you'll finish top 10 in the points. Where are we going to find you in the offseason?
We're going to be practicing up some more. Hopefully, we'll get to find out what's going to happen here in the next couple weeks. We'll see what we're going to be running, so I want to figure out what that will be, and I'll be getting as much practice in as I can.
Thoughts from the most beautiful driver on the field, as voted by me, Joel Brown, driver of that number 43 machine. Jeff, I think I've caught up with everybody. I need you. Anyone else you want to chat with?
I have nobody else on my mind right now. We'll let them get to their driver's meeting and get things underway. But unless, Ryan, you have anything else to add in the driver's meeting?
No. Well, I'm going to talk to these guys after they're gone through their meeting. So all good.
Okie dokie. We'll move on. Thank you guys so much for the incredible season and a lot of fun to watch. Congrats to Chris for coming out of nowhere to get the win. It was awesome. We'll see you guys next time. Oh, we had no thanks for the broadcast. I don't think they actually thanked us for the broadcast. I don't care.
No, they didn't actually.
They don't care about us. I'm just kidding. But it was a lot of fun. Enjoyed it. Great times by many. Not sure what the future holds for the league and for the broadcast, but we will let you know as soon as we can. But there you go. Wes Graham getting the win as far as the championship goes. But Chris Chavez coming back out of the woodwork, he's going to get the win for the race itself. And I saw that coming, especially after Michigan.
You heard it here first. Jeff called it for the win. A lot of bit, I guess, for me, the end of the season is bittersweet. We've been doing this now for several years now. We've gone it through the pandemic. We've watched these guys mature from a bunch of different guys from different backgrounds, all looking for something to an incredible class of drivers. And only the future will tell what is next for these drivers, what's next for these teams, and what's next for our broadcast in general. And what I can say is it's truly been a lot of fun watching these guys mature, watching them become smarter drivers, really watch them test the car for all of its limits and ultimately make this a beautiful exhibition all season long. We've seen a lot of different changes. We've seen a lot of different battles throughout the field. We've even seen a couple first-time winners. And so, as we say, as well, it's never goodbye. You know, everyone wants to say goodbye at when we get to this juncture, but in our industry, as we know, Jeff, it's never goodbye. It's never we'll see you we'll see you again whenever. It's always we'll see you next time, because there's always a next time. Even though you're right, memento mori, we must remember that someday we will die and everything that we hold dear is temporary. We must love it even that much more because of the experience we've had, because of all the beautiful things it has brought us. And, it's like I said, that being said, it's never goodbye. Nothing is ever permanent. We will see you all on the next we'll see you all at the next go round. We'll see you all at the next track. We'll see you all at the next broadcast. Heck, Jeff, you and I even might meet in a little place known as Orange County. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
This isn't goodbye. This isn't goodbye. This is we'll see you next time when we go Green Flag Racing one more time.
Not at all, and I'll see you before the end of the year in person. We can even discuss those plans then. But thank you guys so much for showing up here, watching the races all season long. You make this possible. You make it relevant. We appreciate you greatly, and we'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We are going to find you what's going on out there in Twitchville, USA, and I think we're going to send you over probably to Wes, as Wes is going to be celebrating that championship. Go show him some love and listening to the drivers meeting and all that stuff. Guys, have a good one. We'll see you next time. Take care.